Wait, not too sure if that's worked. Are we back? Can we hear me now? Oh, I hear sound, hear and see you. There we go. Mime stream. We're here, guys. It's St. Patrick's Day. It's my birthday. And I'll cry if I want to. And especially after the weekend, I could cry. It was just one of those ones. It didn't feel like anything went my way. No St. Patrick's Day luck for me. And, we've got a bunch of cards to give away. I'm just thinking about what to put on screen here to help us kind of fill out. But as you guys would have seen when we were looking at the missions on Sorare last week, I went out into the market and I went and picked up a bunch of guys just so that we could get some more essence into the club to go and craft. And I said when I got these guys, this whole little soul collection, I'm going to give them all away as a batch to someone, and stay tuned to the content, and we'll be doing that in the stream today. I've put this out live and loud everywhere, so no matter where you're finding me, thanks very much for joining me on my birthday. It means a lot. St. Patrick's Day is normally a great day of joy for everyone around the world. With it being a Monday this year, it kind of sucks a little bit, but the weekend was still, I'm sure all the bars were on offer, and everyone's had a good time for the most part, unless you had to watch the derby match yesterday. But we'll give this batch of Sol, we'll give away this special Sol collection away to somebody that joins us live and loud in the YouTube live chat. So if you're watching this on Twitter or Twitch or anywhere else, jump across to YouTube, get involved in the live chat there. Hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. It'd be great if we could jump up a wee bit. That'd be a nice wee birthday thing. Never really thought about that, but yeah, I thought I would just jump on live. We've got an MFL video coming out later on the channel. We've got a breakdown of the weekend going out on Sorare here in the next hour or so. And, a bunch of other stuff is going on. So I just thought, for the birthday stuff, let's just jump live and loud now. I've got some other stuff planned with the family or whatever tonight, dinners and all that caper. So let's just jump on live and loud, and we'll do this as soon as we can, and let's just get stuck straight into it. And in terms of what we'll do for the next hour or whatever, you guys run the show, live chat. Doesn't matter if you're a member or not for this one. Doesn't matter. Oh, ideally, you're a subscriber. That would be very nice if you could hit subscribe. But yeah, we'll just do this AMA style. Are we looking at galleries? Are we talking football? Are we talking about whatever else? Happy to touch on everything and anything. I was on Sorare Andrews last week doing my best Andrew impersonation I possibly could. And you never know, maybe some of that chat might come back up. You never know. But yeah, thanks a lot for the birthday messages, guys. It's been brilliant. Sadly, like I mentioned, nothing really went our way last weekend. For the most part, I was really excited about these teams, and sadly, none of them really done anything. 100 points off rewards. The second team was a wee bit closer, 57 points from a reward. La Liga, nothing really went my way overall. I was close, I done myself out in La Liga Rare because pre-deadline show, I had the Valencia guys with Rafinha, and I've ended up putting Rafinha with 2 DNPs. Well, I had Aguerd in the team. I was kind of flip-flopping on Aguerd and Gaia, but Barrenechea and Diego Lopez were in that squad originally, so disappointed. We've been relegated from that, and La Liga was it's just so frustrating. Not much action this week, not that many goals. MLS was quite fun, and we'll do a proper kind of breakdown on this in Road to Glory, but we had some good scores. My hunch on Ojeda starting over Wolf backfired, but it maybe almost worked out not too bad. We're getting some bits and bobs in and around. Classic was a bit of fun as well. Amundsen got a red card, which is a nightmare. And goalkeepers weren't too great. So yeah, there was just nothing really to get me excited over this weekend. Como were kind of interesting for a wee minute. They were beating AC Milan for a short while. And Champ had some moments where I thought, I could probably do quite nicely here. And yeah, just never really finished off that way. One team did great. The Urbig team, we got an error led to go, so we got some XP on that mission for that, which was good fun. And then the Celtic stuff, this team did okay because it had Mitov in goals, and I just about got, I wish I had Maeda in this team rather than Kuhn, and this would have been perfect. Could have maybe won the division, actually, not too sure how tight it was. 142 points, too far off of it. And then again, this team trusted DNP killed my birthday present Jota, which just felt like, as soon as I seen that, I was like, it's just not going to be my day, is it? It felt like that from even when the team sheets came out. Both the McGregors killed, of course. We caught that in the deadline show, but we rotated a wee Hatate in and gave this D1 team a bit of a chance of doing something, but AJ sucked so badly in this game, and Vickers, gets away with doing that, I suppose, by contrast. And then, this team was so disappointing as well. Montiel did alright, James rinsed. And, so on and so forth. Isaka, didn't see that from earlier. What did he do? A 59 on AA, that's not bad. We'll remember that. Henrique is maybe turning up in Russia, that's fun. And Frimpong right at the end, by the way, with a pure unforeseen double decisive match. This team's getting top 10%, which isn't too bad, is it? Could get a wee cheeky something out of that box. the double Kawasaki Celtic thing. And Balcom, by the way, I've always said this about this guy. He just loves decisives. Another assist this weekend. I think he's got 2 assists this year, which is mad. So, yeah, that's fun. One for St Mirren, one for Motherwell now. And yeah, it just didn't feel like it was going to be my weekend at all. So let me know, guys, if you've done any better. St Patrick's Day weekend didn't bring me much luck, sadly. Getting out with some bits and bobs, bit of essence and whatever, which is cool. But nothing amazing. And now it's international break, which is just going to be brutal. And there'll be tons of stuff to touch on the channel here. I'll be bringing out a lot of content on Silkside here and on this channel for maybe looking ahead a little bit more. At the moment, of course, we're getting right into the deep end with MLS, which I'm pretty sure doesn't actually stop for the international break as such. I think we still get at least a couple of matches throughout of it on the weekends, maybe not midweeks and stuff. So I think this coming game week it is internationals only. I'm just jumping onto the MLS fixture list here. And yeah, 22nd, which is 5 days. Yeah, so we get a match day there, and then the 29th. I think that helps us out for 2 weekends, and then the 30th. So when is the 29th? Is that a week? Is that the weekend? Yeah, it's a Saturday, Sunday. So, yeah, so that'll be a wee bit of something else we'll have covered here as well for the most part, which is good fun. But yeah, thanks everyone joining us, and feel free to just throw stuff into the live chat, and we'll see where that takes us. I've got someone joining me as well, and I forget, I was going to say co-pilot, but that's someone else. But I don't think he's got a tip off in that respect. But we do plenty of content together, you know. And yeah, thanks for welcoming it. Thanks for joining us today on St Patrick's Day. McBride Ace, McBride, good to see you, mate.
Hello.
Hail, I guess.
Hail, St Patrick's Day. This is my wedding anniversary, by the way. So.
Oh wow! Congratulations, mate. It's a day for celebration for us all.
Aye, that's one of the reasons why I'm around at this point, if that makes sense, because I was doing something with the wife fella, but she's let me go now, so it's fine. I'm sorted.
Love it.
Yeah, spent the whole morning licking my wounds after that defeat yesterday at Celtic Park as well. So there we go. Let's not dampen the mood too much. I like you've got your birthday thing up. Superb. 21 again, Quinny. Congratulations on being 21.
Jesus,
you look great.
21 for the 16th time or something. Or whatever they say.
Superb.
Cheers, man. Appreciate it. Going to get some grub. I got myself what did the kids get me? I got a toy. I got a wee toy for the collection as always, and then just a wee bit of gear, a wee bit of clothes in that, which is good fun. Also, we had that Jota coming in the other day as well, which is nice to see. Sadly, didn't work out for me in the game week or whatever, but one of those ones. But it's a funny Monday in that way as well, with it being St Patrick's Day, because normally St Paddy's Day is a day where you do let your hair down, you maybe go for it, or most people do anyway. And then when it isn't on the weekend, it's always the weekend that gets it. But there's always when it comes on the Monday or the Tuesday or whatever it might be, it's oh, it's St Paddy's Day today. Let's just let's go for dinner, or let's go for a pint or something.
So it feels like everybody's been kind of celebrating St Patrick's Day all weekend, and I know I'm on my tea here. There's not much you can do on a Monday afternoon, really, is there? But I had a few pints yesterday, to be honest, 1 or 2 after the game to drown my sorrows, obviously after that performance. But I'm still a good weekend, so there we go. Yeah, devastated for Celtic loss. Played really badly. I mean, I don't know if you've been talking about this, Quinny, but I just didn't really play very well. So there we go. Not very good from an SO5 perspective either, unfortunately. So kind of win all the time.
No, you can't, mate. It was brutal to watch. Actually, I've got the breakdown going out on Silkside here at 3:45, and I've actually just finished with the Axon boys on the afternoon show there, which is good crack. But yeah, we were just not at it at all. Everyone, that's the worst I've ever seen Alistair Johnson play. And yeah, this myth that Engels can be a defensive midfielder is hopefully now gone a little bit, because he's not a defensive mid, clearly. And I tweeted it out. I think you maybe gave it a wee like and stuff as well. But after that game, the number one thing, I was like, man, Hatate cannot do enough. There's always people that are just... It's not even people are giving him shade or anything like that from the game, but people are just ignoring him. You know, when they're saying who got pass marks in the game, he's just not even in the conversation for most of the stuff I'm seeing out there.
He only scored Quinny, you know. It's like I expect the guy to do score a hat trick for midfield. Aye, I get that point. Yeah.
Aye, so it was a weird one in a lot of ways. But see, when I said that there, I was running through my teams. See, when I seen that the Jota that I got in for this weekend had that DNP Trusty next to it, I was just like, it's not gonna be today, is it?
No, actually, funnily enough, I avoided Trusty because I remember we were doing the thing the other night. Michelle was talking about Trusty's wife been a week overdue, and I've become a medical expert here. You don't let them go any longer than a week these days. That like asked the wife, oh no, don't let them go. So I left them out of everything apart from one limited team, but it didn't actually make any difference to be perfectly honest. So we conceded 3, so could we do? But there you go. Playing hoofball, it's not as if we get played off a park or anything, but conceded for a corner, ball hoofed at the end. Better team in the second half. A draw would have probably a fair result, to be honest, but some stuff to work on there, but not that concerned about it. Back to Sorare, I nearly won the MLS competition. So close.
Hanny, of course. Is he involved?
So close. So last weekend I played the Nashville stack and I captained Messi and left him on the bench. And then this week I was winning Classic Super Rare and the MLS in season as well for Nashville. And the only person I had to avoid was Messi. Messi got a 93, but it was like literally like he got an assist in the last like 2 minutes or something as well. So it was like proper close. So there we go. I'm a wee bit annoyed at myself at Rare because I usually just run them in that team and I get all like romanticised about the streaks and stuff. So I've won $10. Get it?
Okay.
Like instead of $1,000. But anyway, be streaking next weekend again. But I still held for second in Super Rare Classics. So that's a tier 1 Super Rare MLS wise. I looked at the pool and there's some absolute bangers in there. Like Almiron's in there. A lot of the goalkeepers are in there.
Nice.
Good Puge is in there. So what's he doing in the tier 1 pool? The guy's got like one leg. But aye, that's saved the weekend a bit. So because everything else been like proper horrendous stuff, if that makes sense. Like just like lucky to get above 300 in a lot of competitions. Like I don't know how you got on, but it's been carnage.
It was a wild weekend in that sense. I didn't do well at all. I was actually doing a lot more preparations this weekend for season 4 on MFL. I was kind of crunching the market and sorting out my squad and all that. I've got a video coming out on the channel like in an hour or two. Anyway, going to go through that. So for any that after that chat, I'll be deep diving on that. But I know McBride, you're now the head of a multi-club consortium. So you must have been mad busy over the last couple of days or the week.
Did I tell you that story about how I got the last team though?
I think so.
Mad.
I don't know if it was here, but feel free to go for it.
I had a license to pick up, so I was like, I got the license and it came out as Paris, so I was going to run like a Celtic boys like for the younger players and stuff. I can't really get in. Or I had a few guys that were good players, but I wasn't actually playing them. So what was happening was like they were like my backup right winger or something. I just wasn't really getting any games or whatever, just like 1 or 2 games. So I don't need it a lot of club just to give them like as many games as possible, just tire them out, get them developed. So I got Paris, and then guy messaged me and said, I'll buy all the Paris stuff. I was like, I can't be arsed now. I've just done the logo, I've just bought it and all that sort of stuff. And he's like, I'll give you $150. So I was like, I've only paid $80 for it, so that's fair enough. So that I'll just sell it on, because obviously I'm doing this thing now where you can pick up a license and get the packs and all that sort of stuff. So I was like, right, okay. And then I said when that came out, it's like I'm going to get another license. So I was like, I'll just bank the profit. And it came out and it went into the UK and everything's around. And I was like, that's going to be an English one, isn't it? And I get Glasgow. Couldn't believe it. So I've got Celtic boys now at Glasgow. My training grounds Barrowfield, or my stadium's Barrowfield. But I can't believe it, because I don't know if that's just a mad coincidence or not. I don't think it is rigged in any way, if that makes sense. Because I never asked for it, and like when I went in for my license, I got Paris. It was just completely random, and then it just fell on Glasgow. So there we go. So I've got 5 clubs now. So there was a lot of contracting and stuff getting done, and then Vienna went up some in silver, so that's going to be hard, but yeah, should be good rewards and stuff like that. So it'll be quite fun. Have you been doing any work on the friendlies or the tactics or anything so far, or?
Aye, I've did a lot of friendlies over the week. I say a lot. I've probably done like 6 like deliberate ones where I've sought out an opponent and someone that's gave me a tough game or someone that I can see was like levels above, to kind of joust with, as it were, and you kind of make a wee tweak, or you bring a new player in now. Okay, how does it change, and kind of mix it up a bit. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident in that sense. I'm really looking forward to it. It's been good fun. The seasons are only 6 weeks long, which is like, when you're in it, it feels like it's going on forever, but it also goes by in a flash. It's really kind of it's like quite fun in that sense. But again, for anyone that's not got involved yet, like the season starts, you can get involved in the next couple of days or whatever. But even thereafter, you're not waiting too long for season 5 in the grand scheme of things, the way it runs. So
I think there's a late reg as well, because they've just done the registrations for the league last night, but it's not really been sorted yet. So I think if you buy a club just now, they'll late reg you into like one of the divisions or whatever. So it's not actually too late to sign up, because the first game's not until like Friday or something, I think Thursday or Friday, first fixtures. So still a couple of days away as far as I remember. Let me check that.
Mickey Baston's asking a good wee question here. Is AMA style? How's the Dumbarton stuff coming along? I have actually not pursued it any further. The kind of the deadline for preferred bidder and all that kind of stuff, I think was the 7th of March or the 6th of March or something like that. And so where did we get to? So like the consortium situation got like maybe, I don't know, it felt like very quickly, like after everything happened, there was a lot of interest, there was a lot of willingness, and there was a lot of different people that were very happy to be involved in all the rest of it. And then once we kind of went through stuff in a bit more detail, that kind of lessened, is kind of the easiest way I can put that. And ultimately, like some of the information, that it was a tough thing to I just try to think of, I've not really thought about how to phrase this before, so I'm kind of thinking about this as we're talking about it. But I was not comfortable pursuing it to the extent that I would have needed to make it successful for then what would have been the likely outcomes of some other things thereafter, you know. So that's as on point as I can make it, although it's very vague. But it was a bit of a gutter, because it felt like, I was talking to you about it also, McBride in person as well, but it was something that kind of happened out of nowhere and very quickly did real, and like, this actually isn't impossible, this is quite possible in fact, if some things fall in a row. And I'd have loved it to have like been a bit closer to grasp, is it's probably a good way of putting it as well, just out of grasp for a few different reasons. Some, you know, like I can't really detail some, or maybe
you can't, I don't know, but I think the fairest way to put it is that if you buy a football club, a lot of football clubs don't really make money, and you look at, obviously you've got Inverness Cali there, and nobody actually wants to bid for Inverness Cali or whatever, and without giving away anything confidential, obviously if you take over a football club, you're going to take over liabilities or situations or whatever. So, you know, you can't really take that on unless you're confident that it's going to be productive. And at the end of the day, like, you know, that's kind of one of the reasons why clubs end up in administration or whatever in the first place, right? Because they're thinking, well, you know, there's an impending issue or whatever here. So I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, it'd be a great thing, I think, to be involved in, but I don't think you see a lot of football clubs that are struggling, and maybe not even just that these days. I was talking to somebody about a kind of golf club or whatever recently, and they're not making any money, and it's not just a commercial thing, right? Like, you can't guarantee you're going to actually, it's going to be a huge success, or it's going to be Wrexham or whatever, you know, you kid on your Ryan Reynolds or, you know, romantic
something.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I'd like, I think if like you and the people you were getting in with get in, I think you would actually have made a success of it. But as I said, you've got to take over existing situations as well, haven't you? And that's going to, like, you're going to be a bit hamstrung by that until that's all resolved or whatever, and you just can't really take all those risks sometimes. So it's a shame.
Yeah. So I think like the number one thing that I would like, it wasn't just like a kind of, it was like something that had a lot of material behind it for me, is, again, like I said to you when we're talking in person, like, it's just such a untapped, like, such a great area, such a football hungry area. It's a great kind of part of the country as well, and the way the country's built, and the way like all the clubs kind of have their networks or whatever. It's like a great, there's got so much natural potential there in so many different ways. And like, when people are, I see the chat, which is firing off, by the way, and again, thanks for all the birthday wishes that are coming in, which is good crack. But yeah, like the money aspect of it is ultimately what drives these things. I don't think it's like, it wasn't like wholeheartedly negative. I wouldn't want that impression to be out there necessarily, because I do think like, there's still a lot of room. Like, a lot of the numbers involved are nowhere near full potential in a lot of ways. You know, I'd maybe even suggest golf clubs could be quite guilty of that themselves, of like staying in the 21st century and not moving into the 21st and a half century, you know, because it's a bit different already, isn't it, in so many ways. And yeah, like I'll be interested to see how it does pan out, you know. And I've still, you know, it's one of these things as well that see for the last like year and a bit, see because of COVID and everything, like I kind of like I've got UEFA licenses, and to keep them up, I need to be attending stuff. And I've not attended anything since COVID. I don't think. Maybe I've attended one thing, but I think I need to attend more. And I'm worried maybe my license is out. So I was thinking about maybe checking in on that, making sure it's all valid and whatever, and maybe trying to try to get back on the grass in some way over the next year and a bit or so. So we'll see kind of how it shakes out as well. But you know, it wasn't as if like I wanted to do that in conjunction with the Dumbarton thing. The Dumbarton thing felt a lot more like this could be like a real, like I was really excited about it because of all the things I said initially a minute ago there in terms of untapped potential. But there's so much room for potential in Scottish football, and it kind of does need like a few, I would say a few clubs, you know, but it always starts with one, I guess, doesn't it, to maybe try and drive an agenda, to try and make something a topic of conversation in an official capacity. We're not just fans on a podcast, and like, you actually at that stage as a club owner, you would have like a seat at the table. You know, you're involved in like the SPFL or the league meetings and all that caper. You know, so it was very exciting to me, and something I'm not going to forget about. And opportunities, things change. Like it's something I'm always going to think about. And yeah, I just kind of babbled a little bit there, but there's some more stuff I've said.
Honestly, I think like a lot of Scottish football's really like badly run. To be honest, like you know, like you look at like you know Hearts and
under maximised. Let's say to be kind.
Yeah, I'm going to say badly run because it's your streaming, like, and nobody's going to pull me up for it. I don't think that's watching this stream, right? I don't know, we're not that famous, but I mean, like, what I mean for that is like you look at like Hearts and Hibs, right, and obviously, like in the capital, a lot of people prefer rugby or whatever. You know, it's like in the west, so like football, and like a lot of the corporate stuff and everything in the east is not. But so Hearts and Hibs still have got like quite big stadiums and you know quite big fan bases or whatever when you consider like how teams do like down south or whatever as well, you know. And you think, well, you know, surely like for clubs like that, like the first target is to like come third behind like Celtic and Rangers and get access to obviously European competitions and everything. Now it's not an unrealistic target, right? Because you're playing against teams like St Johnstone where they're desperate to get all the Celtic fans in for that game where Celtic could win the league because they see that as like a good commercial thing, and their fans are, oh, this is terrible, and you know, and St Johnstone are just like, well, we only have like a couple of thousand fans here, you know, and like they're just like, we need to get the money in for income. We're probably going to go down and everything. So, you know, it's just I just think like you know you see like clever people coming in now, like the Tony Bloom group and stuff like that, and they're coming in to get involved in Hearts, and they'll just do so much better with Hearts, I think, than the previous sort of ownerships and stuff have done. And even like Hibs had an American owner, but I think like actually the guy who owned it wanted to sell it for a while. And when you want to sell something and you're not focusing on it, then you're not driving the club forward. You know, unless you're really priming it for a big sale, then really it's kind of I want out. You know, you don't want involved anymore. So I think there is a lot of potential in Scottish football, like you're saying. Like there's clubs obviously who are playing in lower leagues who might, if they get up, you know, they've got access to the top league, or maybe, you know, it's not that hard to get up and get towards the top six in the SPFL. Because remember years ago, like Hibs came up, won championship, the next season they finished like third or fourth or something like that. So it's not as big a gap as you would think. So I totally agree with you. I think there's loads of room for kind of like innovation and stuff. And you see like all the Italian clubs are coming signing all our young guys, Aaron Hickey, Josh Doig, like they want Lennon Miller and stuff like that, and they see them as like kind of good profiles. So like obviously there are players and everything there as well. Do you know what I mean? It's just they react as if it's just you know, it's a rubbish league and all that sort of stuff, but it's not really, you know. Anyway, that's my take on it. So.
Yeah, I echo a lot of that for sure. Looking for Food is suggesting a UK Cups League, which is a fun idea for sure. There was an Iron Brew Cup a few years ago, and they used to bring in teams from maybe Wales and Northern Ireland, but certainly Northern Ireland in the early rounds and whatever, which was a fun idea. I don't think they do it anymore, but
can you hear me? Yeah.
Aye, it's fine. Just I've had the rest of the clan come home from the school run, so it's everyone's in happy birthday daddy mood, which is always lovely. But yeah,
I guess by the way, I would love to like see if you look at like when you get what's the most recent ones, like you get Rangers against Tottenham and all that sort of stuff, and you get this whole like Battle of Britain stuff and everything going on. Like, it's like if you had like a UK Cup, you imagine like, well, obviously, Newcastle won the EFL Cup yesterday, and that was like the first time they'd won something for ages. But if you imagine you had like a UK wide cup, and like you had like Wrexham in it, you had all the English teams and everything in it, you had Scottish teams playing against English teams, like that would be a brilliant competition. I guess it would just, the issue I guess would be the kind of the size of the size of the cup, wouldn't it? Like what stage do you come in and what level do you cut it off, you know?
That's a great idea, I think, for like, because everyone's got their own FA Cup and then they've got the League Cup, and I always find that the most annoying thing about both those cups is they're just very similar. There's like 1 or 2 levels of the pyramid difference really for maybe England's a bit different in that regard, but certainly the rest of the countries. But if the League Cup was just all the top leagues as the cup, everyone joined in on that. You keep your FA Cup as you do.
Yeah.
That would be that would be quality, by the way. That'd be a good one. I like that. Looking for food.
I don't want to actually like offend anybody who like really like are the Geordies or whatever, but see, like sometimes if it's midweek in the Carabao Cup or whatever's on TV, I just don't watch it. Like the FA Cup's a bit different because I think there's a romance about the FA Cup, and like you get it on terrestrial TV, and you get a lot of these kind of like lower league teams, and like it's got that historic feel to it. But the Carabao Cup or whatever, it gets to that point, I'm like, I just can't be bothered even watching that. So like they definitely could do like, and the flip side of things, when Celtic win a cup, I go absolutely daft. By the way, it could be the Tiddlywinks Cup or whatever, and I go mental. So I understand that like fans of teams in it or whatever are not really feeling that way. But if you're talking about like promoting a cup or whatever, you had something like that, it would be amazing, because that's what like the Champions League is kind of about, like best teams from different countries all coming together, and then you've got the cream of the crop type thing. So if you had some sort of UK wide competition, I think it would be a roaring success. TV would be interested in it, and you know there'd be loads of engagement and everything for it. So, but anyway, we don't run UK football. Quinny, you're not going to be running it because you're not getting a seat at Dumbarton Rock, so you're snookered.
Well, I think like the League Cup used to be a wee bit more like side piece material, but I think like in this era of like Pep Guardiola and trebles and all the rest of it, it became like, I don't know, I just look at them all now as the same thing. The FA Cup and the League Cup, it's just the cup that's on the now. It's kind of how I always just look at it, because that's just the way it feels, really, to be honest. I feel like I couldn't really tell the difference for the most part. Like for the most time, you know, it's Liverpool Plymouth, like that could be either one of the cups, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, like I get that sentiment, I suppose. But buzzing for Newcastle yesterday, by the way, buzzing for them.
I was trying to correct myself. I was wrong about MFL. The first game was on Wednesday in MFL. I didn't realise it was so soon. I thought it was later on in the week. So anyway, yeah,
transfer window's open till Friday. Maybe that's what you're thinking.
That's what I'm thinking. I'll need to get my tactics sorted. By the way, Celtic boys are playing 4-2-4. One of the games yesterday finished 8-6. It was absolutely brilliant. It was so good. I'm just gonna run that just for a laugh, because it is absolutely goals all over the place. So there we go. If you want a bit of fun, you might not necessarily guarantee yourself a win, but if you want to see goals, get yourself involved in a 4-2-4 formation. So sorry, you were talking about Newcastle. I watched the game when I came home, because obviously I was like, I need to take my mind off this absolute shite show of a result that we've just had. So I sat down and I watched that. But thought Newcastle played really well, and they deserved it. It wasn't as if they mugged Liverpool or anything. Like, they actually did. They did deserve
beat them, man. Beat them good.
Yeah. So no complaints there, I don't think, from any Liverpool fans, which I don't know how they feel yesterday, because I think Celtic didn't really play very well. I don't know whether we deserve to lose or whatever, but I kind of feel as if we deserve to lose, because I feel we should be played better than that at home. So, like, I'm kind of contradicting myself there, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not as if you're like, oh, this has been a travesty or whatever. You're like, we were rubbish in this for the first half, so it was entirely our own fault. So, and like watching Liverpool or whatever just didn't really play that well at all, which I've watched them a lot this season. I know you watched them a lot, but they've been really strong overall. But like you know, and it's a bit unfair on him because he's in a ridiculous season. But like, I didn't even realise Salah was playing. I thought they'd benched him. it's like it's like, when Salah coming on, it's like he's playing, like what? But he's put in some shift this season. He's been incredible, so that's really harsh on him, I guess. So.
Well, finals are big games, and sometimes it's seen it before where guys are just right on it, then they can just vanish in a game like that.
Yeah.
I thought Newcastle were great value for the win.
Nuno Mendes had a blind. I mean, like Nuno Mendes against Salah twice. Like they were two incredible performances. I mean, Nuno Mendes, like he's still a young guy, right? But he just looked like a proper elite fullback. Like and we know that he can kind of get forward and he's athletic and all that sort of stuff. But he's defending wise, like he was brilliant. And then who was the lad that played against? It was Livramento played, didn't he? Because Lewis Hall's out, so I think Livramento played against Salah, and he did an absolute stormer against them as well. Like for a young guy, like playing against a guy of that quality, having one of the best seasons in the history of the EPL, basically Mo Salah, like playing top level football, and Livramento played really well against them. So yeah, Geordies will be delighted with themselves. They'll have a few sore heads kicking about today. Actually, I'd imagine a few people phoning in sick, and I don't know, just got up and get back on it again. That could be one solution, I suppose. So.
Sorry.
So no, it was like, you ditching me here, Quinny? It's supposed to be your stream.
More just heads popping in. But there's a wee bit of chatting here as well off the back of the game and whatever as well. And yeah, I thought it was a good one for the Geordies, and Livramento very striking at left back as well. They had a big influence on the match, I thought. And I also went and brought up the Scotland team there as well, because I'm on for Predictify. There's a bit of a special, a bit of a promotion running with them, so check out at Predictify. I'm predicting the Scotland team, McBride. I'm having to go head to head with Harry on predicting our national team, the Tartan Army. So I was just having a wee double check at the squad one more time. So I was just thinking ahead, even to teams itself, for the midweek, because midweek also we've got a wee bit of international action.
Tierney in it. It's interesting. I think he was playing a bit of centre back for Scotland, wasn't he? Like so.
Aye.
You can see him kind of doing that again. I suppose it depends what sort of formation, but I think like when we're playing at Euros, it was like kind of three at the back. Really, we're playing like Tierney, it's a Hanley. Well, I can't remember who else played then. Good to see. Head case man. Nice to see Lewis Ferguson back in, because he's had a really like bad run in terms of injuries and things. But I think he's a guy who like really Scotland will need to be quite strong or whatever, because you need options in there, and like he was pretty good last season for Bologna, isn't it? So I think he won their player of the season. There was rumours of a move and everything before he got injured, so pretty interesting. James Wilson in there, that's pretty good. He's been good for Hearts, so I can see why they've brought him in, because he's different type of striker to like what we've had up front. So was like Che Adams and Lyndon Dykes and everything, but Wilson kind of comes across a bit more mobile to me, so it's looking a wee bit better. And he's not in yet, but your man, what you call him at Brentford, was injured for ages. I said his name earlier as well. He's just back, like, so he's not the guy they bought from Italy. Oh God, name's escaped me now. Fullback, young. Anyway, there's the insights there. Can't remember his name now. But he's like, remember, he used to play with Celtic when he was like 16, then he went to Hearts. Aaron Hickey. He'll be in there eventually as well, won't he? But he's just literally just back from injury after like been out for ages. So I think he's just back in training. So so that's a playoff. Is this a one-off playoff, or do we have to play a playoff to win?
There's two legs here. Thursday the 20th and Sunday the 23rd back at Hampden.
Right.
Midweek weekend. Nations League playoff. Not too sure what it's precisely for, but Nations League playoff.
What do we get into? Like, do we? I don't know.
It's
another World Cup, is it?
Maybe the Euros. Maybe the World Cup playoffs. This is League A playoffs. This is to maybe win.
Is it to go up to the next or down or? I don't think you actually.
This is to go up to League A.
Yeah.
Unless we were in A, it's to stop being relegated from A. Yeah, we were in A, so we don't want to get relegated from A. That's the deal here.
I think probably easier for us to qualify for something if we go in through the lower one, to be honest. So that's just a weird set. Like, well, it's not a weird system, but when Scotland got promoted the last time, they actually got into the competition. They got into Euros via the Nations League, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I think like being in the top tier gives you more of that get out of jail free card ability. Because you're like Div 1.
It affects the seedings for the qualifying groups, doesn't it? Like for the main qualifying groups. So,
I think so.
Because I think Scotland got up to 8, and then like we got a kind of slightly more like favourable like draw and stuff. Obviously, like when it was coming to like the Euros World Cup and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. But Scotland done like, and they started really badly in that group. So to get 7 points wasn't really the worst effort. Because Portugal, you'd expect like would take care of Scotland. Croatia, pretty good team. Like lots of good players. So it's interesting.
Yeah, like if Poland could have like took a wee bit more off of Croatia, we're probably second. You say, what more do you want out of that group? Really, like points against Portugal is kind of the only thing left there. But Croatia, 50-50 with them, and in Poland you're getting over them ultimately. It's kind of it's not too
Scotland
bad.
conceded really late against Croatia away from home, didn't they? Like, played really well over there, and like I think get beat 2-1 in like 92nd minute or something like that. So like
it was a pure gut punch, wasn't it?
I thought we played brilliant that night. Like that's the irony of like Scotland, right? Scotland sometimes like turn up and play quite well against difficult opposition, and then you play against like some random team or whatever that you should be beating 3-4-0 or whatever, and then they start struggling. So interesting.
Look at Sorare just dropped jersey edition days, so they've been holding all the jersey mints that they can, and now we've got missions. McBride, have you done any missions yet to go and get some essence?
The error led to go one came in within the first 2 or 3 games, I think, to be honest. I had the K-League one anyway because I've been buying some sort of guys in the K-League, so I think I had like a sort of limited in-season like some Ulsan stuff and everything, and I had some J-League stuff, so cleared that quite easily. Is that where we're getting the MLS ones tomorrow? Oh, that's good.
Yep. K-League, so remaining European ones, Argentina as well. And
that's quite annoying because they made a complete mess of one of the Nashville players. So like I went a bit berserk and bought all the 1 out of 100s for Nashville, but they just buggered up one of the options and they just like started the guy at 2 out of 100. And I sent like a ticket and stuff in, and they said, yeah, we'll pass this on to the teams. Like 3 weeks have elapsed and they've still not minted the 1 out of 100. So you get his jersey edition now.
Oh, so these cards are going to have special designs when revealed. So if you've already had a jersey number by, like I got Schlupp on the fly, and because he's early access rather than jersey day edition, that's a wee bit annoying, eh? But hey, it is what it is. I don't think it's too much of an issue.
So we're getting 30 points for jersey edition plus points
supercharged.
Yeah.
Plus first owner, plus 90 day.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind it so much, to be honest. Like, I think a lot of the design stuff's been really good, and I think the only danger is that like, you can end up with too many designs. Like, you don't want to get middle of the season and like, yes, this is now the Easter egg edition, and by the way, we're running a competition, and all those cards you can spend your money on for the rest of the season, none of them can enter because this is a one-off competition. So it kind of feel as if that stuff like starts interfering with the overall scarcity or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like you buy a card at the start of the season, you want the actual like utility across season. You don't want to be starting like being excluded from competitions and whatever. But so you're not getting a special edition. So, well, you've opened it as well. That's our thing, right? Because it's
of course, it's not going to be retrofitted or anything. But if anyone still has one in the packet, like I've still got a Matt Freeze early access. It's a 1 of 100, and he's the goalkeeper. So I don't think that will turn into be fancy or whatever. But Contrast Siltida's in the chat asking what a jersey edition is. So they're going to make these ones special. So there'll also be a new design on these ones that are now sold at limited and rare. And what it is actually is like whatever their jersey number is, like Jeffrey Schlupp here, number 15 for Celtic. It's then the serial number of the card out of 100 or 1,000. Like it mentioned in the blog, there is a difference with super rares because they only go up to 10. So there's not many jersey edition super rares even available in that respect. So that's what it is, and that's what it means. They already exist in the game. You already get extra collection bonus for this anyway. This Jeffrey Schlupp will be extra for me, which is great. But this one is going to be supercharged with also being like special edition. It's not going to look like this, obviously, but its own fancy thing. But yeah, it'll have its own little detail to add into all the other stuff that we've had this year. Which has been cool. The card designs have been brilliant. I don't think I've seen one this one here really. On my phone, it's a little bit better because it's so tiny. But on a computer, this just melts my brain. I can't look at it. I hate it.
Yeah. I think like I got a special edition Cezinha and I love it. Like I think like what they've done a lot better with the card designs is like, see if you look at the ones that have just been open for Celtic, the lighting is brilliant. So they've got like, you've got the background, but they've got like a lighting focus like around about the player's face and head and stuff, and it just kind of they just look like really look at the jaw, look at how much that stands out compared to some of the older cards. Like,
Yeah.
look at the general lighting, so like that how like his face and stuff like that. Like so you've got the background, but it just like it looks like really good. Obviously it's jaw, so he's going to look good, right? Because he's it's jaw.
Totally.
But I think the cards are great. Honestly, I think they look. I mean, like yeah, look at that Jonathan David there. Just looks like plain Jane, doesn't it? Like you just like it's just like in the past we
cool.
used to think they were good looking or whatever, but like just like come on, so much design wise now, and even the
I still like
site.
them a wee bit.
See, you know what I really love? Like, see, like the quality of like the competition thumbs and everything, the wee individual thumbs, like they're like almost like you're going to play or whatever. Like they all look like really, really good as well. You know, so like from a marketing point of view, it's kind of it feels as if everything's had a bit of a facelift.
I'm not going to select Rookie, but these are all the movie ones or something funky about them.
Like,
You'll probably have.
He was good, wasn't he? Played well against him.
He was. I was so annoyed that he was my only special that I packed. The only one until I got AJ.
Yeah.
AJ and Tierney. That's fun, isn't it? Double fullbacks with the wee spinnies.
Proper no utility from Novrocky. Look at that. Like he's still on a 0 even though he's played. Like so. I guess like see if he goes somewhere like look at
Could
what
be like Lagerbielk, couldn't he?
Aye. He's like I still think he suits her like the way Rodgers wants to play or whatever, but like he is a good player, like so that's a belter, the signature card, like yeah.
And the jersey number.
Aye. So that's a proper like because like, I looked at something. What was it the other day? They're doing like Panini versions of cards and they made them into NFTs, but it just looks like the actual Panini card, and people are paying like crypto and everything for them or money for them. And you're just thinking, like, obviously that's because Panini's got an existing brand or whatever. I think it was Panini. They called them Panini NFTs or whatever. So obviously people are going to pay money for that because you've got the whole history of the Prism thing and all that, you know, all that sort of stuff. You think, how long is it going to take for people to actually recognise like Sorare Messi's or whatever, you know? Like, why does Messi not have just like some form of collectability in a Miami shirt or in an Argentina shirt or whatever? You know, like maybe obviously because there aren't many Barca ones, but you know what I mean? Like there should be cards on Sorare that have some collectible value, and at the moment, the whole collection thing is all centered around the collection game because people want to use it for in game. But you don't find people coming in and saying, "I want that digital version of Messi or that digital version of Ronaldo." And then you look on this sales bot and somebody's paying like $10,000 for a Panini Prism or whatever, and you're like, but like there's no utility. So like, what I'm trying to say is like at some point, like if Sorare do keep like building their reputation, you would hope there'll be some collectible aspects to stuff like that you've got there.
Yeah, I hope so too, and especially with that because like being an NYC OG fan I am, Maxi Morales is probably the #1 player in the club's history, and that's a signed jersey number, the year they're the champions. Such a beauty of a card. So yeah, I hope so too. Yeah. When you said the Panini thing, I've just logged into it again. I've got my collection. What does it show? I've not logged into this in so long. There we go. But I actually got I got a Topps NFT account. Like I can't remember when they came out. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, so the 2021 season. I can't remember how much I spent on this. It's maybe like 40 quid. I don't know how much any of them go for or anything. It's the first time I've logged into it for ages. I've got a Goretzka. I was buzzing about that.
As a surprise.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. It's like tops. Just a wee hang. Why not?
I know. I just like, you know, I, maybe Sorare's just not
There's a
built
signature
that.
card there. Tayo
Maybe,
Iwani. That's cool, isn't it?
do you think it's just because Sorare doesn't have enough history yet? Like, so obviously Sorare, what I've been on 5 years in June or whatever, right? And obviously, like Panini or whatever, like Panini's been about since like I was like, you know, like a teenager. So you're talking about, I'm not going to give my age away. It's at least 20 years, right? It's been around for a long time. But you know what I mean? Like, so it's obviously it's like a brand or whatever. So like people say, I want that digital Panini because it's a Panini because they've got an existing brand. But it'd be interesting to see like you know, so rare like Messi's or whatever, right? And Messi for me is best player ever. And some of the cards have only got like 100 copies or whatever at rare. Like so, like somebody you would think at some point should value that as a digital card more than somebody just saying, "Oh, there's a picture of Messi on a panini." Like, but it doesn't really happen. If you know what I mean. So
Yeah, yeah. It's that kind of next generation thing, isn't it? Of like, you know, like the technology being like the backbone of Sorare, like what it gives, like so why the cards can be considered that way in the first place, you know, as like a thing because it's not just like a
yeah,
FIFA card that can be deleted or whatever. And it's now just that kind of apparatus around it where the game, if the game can be like fulfill its potential, which I think a lot of people believe it's on its way to doing now. Really, the way it's set up now, it's very few complaints. I think like the complaints are a wee bit more maybe still as loud because people can sense that change will happen if it's for the right reasons. So when people really believe in something now, they're a wee bit more happy to push the envelope and write
yeah,
an extra long post about it or a blog or whatever people do in general. And yeah, it's a big thing to break into, of course. And I think like a big part of it will be the cards getting that kind of provenance as well. They tried it before with doing stuff on golden auctions and whatever. I think you kind of need something bigger and as organic as possible to do that. Like, not to sound like a dweeb or anything like that, but sincerely, like if fucking guys like Logan Paul and I Show Speed and all those kind of crowds, like if people like that got interested in it, then it's just like a guaranteed fucking thing because they just are
yeah,
attention on the internet. Whereas like golden auctions and these kind of things, like yeah, there's a space they can have like visibility in or whatever, but it's not like the imagination of the public, you know,
still a
which
bit
is
niche.
which is where like FIFA lives and Panini lives and all the rest of it, you know.
Yeah,
So, um, so
yeah.
yeah, we have a chat on that, I guess.
No, I agree. I agree with you. And like the other thing as well is like at what point, like, you know, Sorare tried it with Legends, right? They tried to give some sort of usage within the game to cards that don't actually play games anymore. And I know obviously FIFA's video gaming or whatever, but the reason people want a sick Ultimate team is because they want to go and use those guys and play a game of football against somebody else. And then you've got that in-game, like actual game of football. I don't play FIFA anymore, right? Like did when I was younger or whatever, but I don't play it anymore. So you've got the whole trading aspect, but then you've got people who just want to spend money because they want a really good team, so they want to use that team to beat somebody else. So it's like, at what point when Sorare nail all this stuff, do they try and find a way so that like it's not just all about whether or not Seoul beat Ulsan this weekend? You know, the fantasy football element. Is there another element of things? Like, I'm not saying you should have virtuals or whatever. You know what I mean? Like expanding it beyond. If they don't pick up collectibility in terms of people just want to own them just because or whatever, then what else can you do to give them some sort of general value or whatever? Because Legends have been a big disappointment, right? Like I don't own any. I never went mental on them at the time, but anybody who did buy a lot of them is probably quite right to be aggrieved because, like, at least like recently, people were keeping them and going, all right, well, we can use them in training, and you know, we've got some use for them. Now there's no training or whatever, and it's like, well, you know, have I just like been rubbed there? You know, like I don't own any of them, so I don't have any particular like strong view in this. But if you'd paid a couple £100 for a Legends card and there's nothing you can do with it now, you would, you know, it'd be quite right to look at that and go, well, I'm looking at this guy and he's worth like $1 or whatever now, so like you'd be pissed. So
for the wee peek, the cards are not actually on the market as of yet, but yeah, so they'll come out tomorrow morning probably. I would guess 10 a.m. UK time, maybe a wee bit earlier than that. Just depends, I suppose, if it's locked and loaded for the morning. But yeah, I think adding the jersey into this equation, but of like having its own special edition, is a great step in the right direction as well. Because like we had a question in here about what does that even mean, and even though they've gave it collection bonus and score, it's not an obvious thing to glance upon. Versus like a rookie, for example, I think that one's abundantly visible to anyone that plays the game, whereas the jersey number is not, so I think it'll be cool. It feels a wee bit late for the European ones, but it feels like maybe the design, maybe it's been delayed, maybe they deliberately held back on purpose. Feels like for the European guys, but you'd have wanted a jersey number like before Christmas.
Yeah, it's probably just an evolution, but right, because what they're trying to do now is they're trying to do things that will work quite well. So the thing with the MLS or like contender or whatever over the summer is you can experiment a wee bit, because like if things work well, you can bring it into Europe. If things don't work well, it's not as big of a disaster, because when you launch all those cards, you like Mbappe went to Real Madrid or whatever, like Sorare had to make some money off of them, right? Like, because they were doing this whole thing with Mbappe and all the promotion and everything, so they had to be of a good value, otherwise that could have been a bit of an issue. Whereas over the summer, whatever, it's been good. The MLS has been good, but they'll learn lessons from that as well in terms of how they've laid it all out. And like people do seem to be like going after these streaks and everything, this beat the game thing. So you would imagine that like a lot of that stuff's going to find its way into Europe next season, whether or not you like it or not. I said when we were discussing things before, like it does look as if some elements of the game are transitioning to you'll need to buy 5 in-season cards to get the max sort of value or whatever out of this competition, whether or not people like that or not, or it's just that's the way it's going. So you were just going to have to kind of accept that in a way. Oh, Latin Mackey's get cards. Didn't realise he'd get cards. He's been pretty good for North Island. Only pick one of them up.
There's a few wee Nordic ones here that are getting number 3s out. Rookies again. Rookie American goalkeeper. That's fun to see.
Very.
Looks like a punk, doesn't he?
The North Island guys I find quite fun because they just
it's just all rookies. They all play.
Rootcar. Shout out to Rootcars. How you doing, mate? Look at me live on Twitter. There's your shout out. Get it round you.
Right. I didn't see a Twitter chat there. Apologies. But yeah, fist bumps to everyone. Thanks again for all the birthday messages that are coming in. I was going to give away the J League guys that I bought, so we'll do that in the live chat today. I'll wrap the stream up in about 5-10 minutes or so. Just wanted to come on, spread a wee bit of the St Patrick's cheer, chat with whatever. And the chat, yeah, for the most part, it's just been happy birthdays, and Soreheads are kicking about. Newcastle has been confirmed, and yeah, just kind of chatting on what we're chatting about, which is good fun. But yeah, feel free to throw anything out from the chat. But yeah, in the next 5-10 minutes or something, I'm just going to give all these away to one person because I just got them as a collection, so we'll keep them together as a collection. Now, I did buy one guy twice by accident, McBride, because the Lightning Cho Young Kwang was in a packet, and so I'd got these 2 special editions for £1.29 and £1.15, and there was another Saul one on the market for like £1.48 or something. And by the time I got to the third one, it had sold, and every other special edition had sold as well. And I wasn't that quick off the mark to this. The announcement maybe came out, just for example, say it was at 12. I was doing this at like 5. It'd been out for a little while, but it felt like after I got the first 2 in, the market just went boom, 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 on the secondary, just getting the special eds in. So then I ran out to just get packets and try and hope to pull some more special editions. And the first one I bought, I was like, oh crap, I've already got that guy.
What announcement was that for? Did I miss that? No.
For the missions, and like the first mission being the K-League collection.
Yeah.
20 essence.
So you had to get 100. So obviously, if you're going to buy the special editions, you get more points. I get you.
Yeah. So tried to do it with like 3 or 4 cards. Ended up doing it with like this many. But I didn't know this guy was a rookie either until I unpacked him, and I was like, oh cool, even more points. That's fun. So Yeah, love to give that. I'll give them all away to one person as well, which would be good crack. What's going on the auctions market? Why the auctions start? Yeah, there's somebody mentioned that to me that there was a move in the minimum bid. Can't remember exactly what it was and what it is, but you guys are pointing it out again. 161. Yeah, it was lower than that, wasn't it, for limiteds? Oh yeah,
Yep.
me and Laird were talking about this last week. It's like the Arnold Clark analogy. That's what came to my mind again. Check out me and Laird on Thursday or Friday last week. Miguel, we go into that in a good wee bit of detail, but yeah, like they've lifted the price a wee bit of the limiteds. I think they'd recently reduced the price on super rares, so I wonder if that actually directly just balances off in a weird way. That'd be interesting because of the volume limit of limited. You maybe then if they just gave away 20 quid a super rare or something now.
They're just basically, so if it's like 150 or whatever now, like they're basically just charging you treble on your collection pieces at limited, because like there's a lot of guys who eventually just end up going for like 50 cents or whatever, like all the kind of Asian teams and everything. Like basically you end up just like paying
Guys on zero bids.
Yeah, a lot of them go unsold. That's the problem. Like, a lot of people will just not buy them. They'll just say, well, that's too much. Because look at that public offer 3 hours ago, 58. So, like, it's kind of like artificially inflating it. But I think what they're doing is they're just upping the bottom line in terms of the minimum amount of money you're going to have to pay to get collection pieces. And it won't affect resale value, because when you're doing resale value, people are not really going there for their cheap collection pieces. They're going to go for first owner, or they're going to go for maybe a special edition or whatever, because that's equivalent to a first owner, right? But
Yeah,
in terms of normal cards or whatever, they'll just sell for whatever they've been selling for. So just the frustrating bit with stuff like that is there's been no actual communication on it. It's just like was brought in, and it's like, let's hope people don't notice this, as if people are not going to notice it. Like Sorare, like everybody will notice it. There'll be people going mental about it on Twitter. Oh, you've trebled the price of cards and whatever,
ETH volatility, some people are saying as well. Maybe factor into it as well, perhaps. I've never actually seen an auction finish like this, so I'm just interested to see what happens.
Nothing. That's it. It just goes unsold.
So it just vanishes?
It goes unsold. So I think that they can put it back into the auction supply later if it doesn't sell.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think they can re-auction it, because I remember seeing one of the super rares that they ended up re-auctioning it for some reason. But if somebody actually buys it, if it goes into somebody's collection, or if it ends up being a swap or whatever, they can't re-auction it. But I think they can re-auction something that's not been sold, as far as I'm aware.
Got you. Fair enough.
Let's hope. I mean, if they come out and say, like, we've been doing this and it's worked, and you were going to add 10% onto the prizes or whatever, then that's fair enough. Because one of the common complaints I'm seeing just now is like people tweeting and saying, right, I've come like, say, 100th out of this 2,000, and I've got like £4, and I've got another team in the same competition, and I've came like 500th, if that's even a thing, and I've got £4 for that as well. So it's like what Sorare are trying to do is kind of flatten out the payments to kind of make it almost like a kind of stealth threshold. But then people are saying, but what's the point of finishing another 200 places above if I get exactly the same amount of money as I get for coming like 400 points if I get 440 points? So that's quite interesting, I guess, whether or not that's like being a success, because I think that's the flat payouts, something they brought in when they done the changes to the 3 divisions and stuff, wasn't it? Because that's not really the way it was before, from my memory. But
yeah, just having a wee glance here. Auctions on MLS end in 16 hours, so it's all been lined up for tomorrow. It feels like.
Aye, looks like tomorrow morning it'll be released then. So
MLS undervalued? That's a good question.
They've all been too much for a while, I think, but there will be some good value about. But I think a lot of the MLS cards are actually overvalued, if I'm honest. But I looked at some of the limited stuff, and I was like, is it time to get involved with a limited collection yet? And I was like, there's no way I'm paying 40 or 50 quid for an MLS limited goalkeeper. Firstly, there's already been about 100 of them minted. Secondly, like, if you pay that for every card or whatever, you're going to be really struggling to return that. I think I'd rather like just buy rares or whatever and pay more money for rares, or even like super rares are pretty expensive, but a lot of them are overvalued.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but maybe fancy yourself to do the streak.
Maybe your man's still hiding under a DNP discount a little bit compared to some of the other big hitters in the league in defence. Paslic at 72 feels cheap compared to, Moranchuk's and the like.
Who's your I seen Diego Luna was a pretty good price. I mean, he's been not been going so well, or whatever, but an injury. I think at the start of the season, he's just seemed to start picking up. So I think he's actually a reasonable price. Check who else.
There's no way Redondo's going for 220, is he?
Nah, it's just Antonio Sala, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's not. No,
Jesus. 20 quid.
Aye, it's like, what? No way.
Aye, that's just inflated the floor a bit there, Satonio. I don't get that. Like, surely you're never really going to actually get any action listing something at 10x what the last sale was. So
Gutman at under 20 quid feels a bit naughty.
There was a guy who came over to Celtic at one point. I don't think he ever played for Celtic, but he came over at one point, didn't he?
He did indeed, bud. He did indeed.
Memories.
One of my old favourites, I had Gutman in my gallery for ages because he was an ex-hoop. I loved that. But he's a fullback. He's kind of up and down, isn't he? But if you think Chicago are on for it, he's a good part.
I think Jonathan Bamba and Kuipers and stuff together will be pretty good. I don't know what their prices are at the moment, but I
68
think
for Bamba. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I think he's quite capable of just doing loads of this. It looks as if he's getting a small amount of AAA as well. In terms of duels won and stuff or contests. So I think he's quite capable of maybe not quite doing what Boanga or whatever did, but you know what I mean. He's a good level player, and obviously he's come into the MLS where the defending's a bit more questionable than Europe.
But the thing about Bamba, is he's always been a guy that can get 10 AA, and it's just been about does he couple that with a decisive, and does he get a decisive? There's a 59 there actually. He's always had a wee bit of AA to him. He's always been a good kind of value guy if you can just sense when he's on form or whatever. But if you can keep that AA up, which it doesn't need to be amazing, like you say, with a few decisives in MLS, which he should be getting, he's already got 3 assists in 4 games. I think he's a really solid play. 68 quid's a bit punchy, but compared to Latte Laugh, double the price here. I don't know if that's actually what they're trading for, but certainly that's what's on screen. Zaha's not bad either at the same price point.
Yeah.
But Zaha maybe is a bit dusty, some people are telling me, so get your eyes on him before you buy somebody like Zaha, just to be sure he's still alright. But there's even Kuipers at 84. You could get Bamba and Kuipers together for the price of Moranchuk or something like that.
I picked up an Atuesta, it was a classic one, right? But I got the Atuesta Super Rare for 20 quid.
Nice.
He's not started house on fire or whatever, but he's a guy who went at one point in LA put in some really
huge ceiling,
huge scores. So I kind of like buys like that, kind of Moneyball stuff where you just pick up a guy for all right, might not be scoring very well at the moment or whatever, but you can see that things could conspire for them to go on a good run or whatever. And the other thing I'd be doing is if you're not playing much this game week or whatever, have a look at these game weeks the weekend where you've got fixtures and all the international and all a lot of the DP guys are away. That's why I really like Nashville's fixture this weekend, because Zimmerman, for example, he's not in the USA squad. So get game weeks like this one coming up or whatever, that's this is an amazing card to have,
Atuesta in season's 18 quid. That feels good for a midfielder of his kind of calibre. Under 20 quid.
I think that's okay. I think that's not bad at all. Because you think I think the biggest expense in season wise probably going to be goalkeeper, right? But even if you just want to ignore the streaks and just pick up a classic goalkeeper and just fill your outfield until you win enough money for an in-season goalkeeper or whatever, you can definitely pick up wee bits and pieces of Ethereum or money here and there. Diego Luna, I mean, I think he was definitely going at under 40 quid. I'm pretty sure he was going for I think I seen one go for 20 quid or something like that. And he's under 23 as well. So I think he's 30 quid. But you see, he was going 29 quid on auction 2 2 weeks ago or whatever, you know. So he was really good last season. Because what people tend to do is they see somebody doing really well. And I see people doing this with Dominic Fitz. Somebody paid like 400-500 quid for Dominic Fitz's super rare, and I thought that's one of the worst buys I've ever seen in Sorare. Like, all right, the guy's averaging 80 or whatever. He's out of contract in the summer. He's got 7 or 8 games left. So, like, what are you hoping to happen for this guy? Like, if Dominic Fitz went to the MLS, he might not score as well as he's scoring in his current team because he's absolutely smashing it. Like, what is it you want to happen? Like, you're never going to make that back, I don't think, over the course of like a couple of game weeks or whatever. So that's just dead risky, I think, because you'd have to win a competition between now and the end of the season to get that money back. Maybe he's the type of guy who will win your competition, but there's no guarantees you're going to win a competition. It's quite competitive at the moment. So anyway, I'd rather
It's
buy
kind of anyone's game as well in that same way, because we've seen St. Louis stacks reigning the leaderboard one weekend. You know, I've not actually checked up on the wider scores for this one.
Yeah.
But even as you were saying there, what was it, Atuesta for 18, Abada for 20? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's an outfield out in season there that you could cobble together for under 100 quid if you've got a wee classic keeper.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, the DPs are really expensive, but everyone that's not a DP is kind of just in the crowd, aren't they? Because there is so many players in all these squads, isn't there?
Yeah. There'll definitely be value, but the other thing I would have a look at just now is just like who plays, like who is it that gets like a game when all these international games or whatever are on. It's probably maybe like it's marginally too late for that. Remember we were talking about it with like backup goalkeepers or whatever, like, who plays when Andre Blake's away to Jamaica, and you know, because there'll be other points. I don't know what the MLS is doing whilst the Club World Cup and everything's on, but if you're clever enough just to actually sit down and look at the schedule and see what's on and say, oh, there's MLS games on then, but it's an international week or whatever, you can pick up like some unbelievable value where you just build a team for 50, 60 quid or whatever. Like, guys don't always play or whatever, but they will have a reasonable chance, you know.
This guy's name.
Show.
Big Show.
Show me the money.
Big Show. How tall Show? 1.8 meters. What's that in feet? Is it Big Show or is it normal size Show?
That's normal size, I think. That's about 5'10" or something like that, so it's not that big. The
Brooks
guy
Lennon, 70 quid after one game. That's wild.
the lad that Nashville signed, get 2 decisives already, is it Chasm? They signed him Sweden, so he was going for like 20 quid and stuff like that as well. You know, he's going to be a starting winger for Nashville. There's definitely a bit of value about it. It's not like if you're just going to go and buy the obvious ones or whatever, they're still pretty pricey, I would have said. Like,
Yeah. But I don't know if that's all of them, but that's definitely a good wee scanning we've done there. Dara. Not Dallas players. MLS is 5 p.m. tomorrow, I believe. Great interactions chat. Sorry, just catching up with all this.
Zanka's
What is
not
it?
bad. 6 quid for Zanka. I mean, that's like...
Yeah, that's not too bad, is it at all? Show is 6 foot. Love that. Thanks, Mikey Basson. What is the MLS equivalent in English leagues? Because Latte Laugh was the most expensive player in MLS, and players like he's world class. I'd say he's Div 1 in EFL. I've not actually seen Latte Laugh really do much beyond highlights at this point, but MLS is... it's weird, right? Because I think like the goalkeepers are, especially the native ones, are like League One level. But I think a lot of the attackers are like Championship level for the most part. You know, some of them are maybe bottom end Prem. You know, like you've seen Almiron. Almiron was the best player in MLS, went to Newcastle, and it took a while for him to get into the team and all the rest of it. So I don't think there's like too much like that's like, oh yeah, top level. But I think a lot of the good the DPs, the attacking players, are definitely worth being interested in for European clubs, I would say, for the most part. And yeah, I think the goalkeepers and some of the bodies are like League One.
Like SPFL out with Celtic and Rangers level, like,
Yeah.
which like they are like,
Yeah, because Christian Ramirez left, was it Philly or something like that? No, he went back to Columbus, went to Aberdeen and scored like 5 or 6 goals, and everyone in MLS was like, oh my God, Ramirez can score goals again. And then they brought him back and he's been great since he did well at Aberdeen. You know, like it's pure rejuvenated his MLS career because it was dead. So yeah, like I'm with you there, McBride.
I think they are like a lot of Joe Willis and everything, and obviously there's some good goalkeepers and everything in the MLS, but there's a lot of like really like average defending, like, you know,
Yeah.
guy, like just proper like, as you say, they spend a lot of their budget in certain areas, right? So the budget's going like the number 10s, the Ryan Golds, all that type of stuff. And then, you know, like, oh, we've run out of budget. We can't, like, go and sign, like, you know, Sergio Ramos or whatever now, you know. But and they use a lot of those, like, under 23 initiative play. Like, you see, like, Miami or whatever now, they're getting, like, a lot of, like, pretty good, like, young players and whatever in. So I try to fill out the squad with, like, young talents and stuff as well, which is quite interesting. So
Yeah.
the other one's pretty good at Nashville. Schaffelberg, I think, will come on to a game now as well. He's had a bit of a delayed start because he was injured, and obviously Chasm's come in. But I think Schaffelberg will probably still playing, probably Chasm on the other side. So like he's definitely a good price now. What I said, just want to pick up some of these guys who are capable of doing like good scores and stuff. And Nashville look actually pretty good this season, I would say. So you know they could be up pushing for winning stuff. Well, I hope so anyway after buying all the cards.
Harry's boy there for 50 quid, the Costa. Yeah, it should be an interesting one. Right, guys, I'm going to do the giveaway, and we'll wrap this up because it is birthday season here in the Quinn household. We've got some limiteds to give away. And so the way this will go is I'll ask you all a question, right? You're usually going to give me the answer. Before I tell you the question, write in your Sorare club name into the live chat. Do not send it. Just have it sitting there waiting. I'll tell you the question. I'll tell you what kind of answer I'm after, and then I just need you to put your answer in and hit send into the chat. It will be first correct answer on my screen, and we'll send all of these guys over to the winner right now, essentially. Nice little Sol collection. You've got a wee doubler in there, so there's one you can sell if you want to keep the rest of them, or do as you wish with them, really, whoever does win them. But try to assemble a nice wee ragtag batch of guys. If you get them in, the mission's still open, so you might actually, the mission is still open. So if you get them now, you could win this as well, maybe, probably. So that's quite fun. And let me just change the wee filter so I can see it again. So write your Sorare club name in, how I can find you on Sorare. Do not send it. Keep the gun loaded, right? And the question I will give you is, what's a good question from this weekend? Good question for this weekend. Right, let me check something. We looked at some stuff at the beginning of the stream, so let me go backwards to go forwards. Let's see. Okay, now the answer is going to be a number, right? It's just going to be a number. No initial, no decimal points or anything like that required. Okay. I told you guys before McBride came in, I think, that I made. So it's just a number. That's all I'm after. I told you guys that I made some horrible deadline show decisions, and it screwed my Rafinha. How many DNPs were in my Rafinha team?
Supposed to doing that, Quinny. I can't believe I done it with Messi. And last weekend I played Messi with Nashville and I captained him and they never played him. Then this weekend I never put him in with Nashville and he had a 93 and he knocked me off top spot. So there we go. That's, I don't know. I get drawn in by the streak. So
It gets you, doesn't it?
it's because my Messi's not in season, right? And I just thought I'll just, if I get the first, well, I guess I'm on for the second level of the streak. So if I hit it next weekend, then it's $40, but it's like cost me 700 quid. So anyway,
that's a sore mate, for sure. This was a sore one for me, and the answer was 2: Aguerd and FDJ, Frankie De Jong. And let's see who is the first correct answer that we got that had 2 as the correct as the entry, and it looks to be Toby Alexander to me. Congratulations to you. I reckon Leeds United could beat every MLS team. Yeah, they probably could. Many me saying that there's an email going out with some free credits in it from Sorare, so watch out for that. Toby, I'll send these guys over to you just now, my man. Thanks very much for supporting the channel on my birthday. Thanks for entering in the giveaway. Thanks for being here in the live chat. Happy birthday to you all. Or happy birthday, happy St Patrick's Day, I should say to you all. Happy birthday to me. Thanks again to everyone that's joined us. McBride, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for slinging in for us.
Yeah, no problem. Enjoy the rest of your birthday.
I'll try my best. I'm just about to send this little offer. And yeah, MFL video out on the channel shortly. Predictify giveaways happening now. Make sure to get involved in that if you're not signed up with Predictify already. And Celtic channel is out on Seltzer here. And we'll be back for member section tomorrow. We'll be back for a bunch of other stuff. Congratulations again, Toby Alexander. Thanks again, McBride Ace. And to everyone else, enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great one. Thanks again for all your support over the last however long you've been here. It really does mean a lot. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff. The camera's over here now. Sorry, I forgot. But yeah, have a good one, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.
Hail, hail.